What up, y'all?
Welcome
to the J&O Show.
Where we talk about
a man on TikTok told us about the mindset you gotta have to be a stepdaddy. Now, when I looked at his post, the first comment was at the top. I wasn't looking for it. First comment said, "It's simps like you."
It's people like you.
That's destroying everything for us. So just watch to the end because it just kept getting, I don't know.
We just gonna roll the clip. Just roll the clip.
7 years ago, I was single with no kids. And now I'm waking up super early to go on a surprise Starbucks run for my wife and all her kids. Thank you very much. Thank you. 7 years ago, my coffee used to only cost like $3, and now it costs about $45. $45 on a good day. But 7 years ago, I was single with no kids, and I had no major responsibilities. I was only responsible for myself. Now I'm married with 4 stepkids, and my wife and I had 1 kid together. So I'm going to be very vulnerable with you right now, and I'm going to speak to all the step-parents, stepmoms, stepdads, and anybody who's just considering being
4 stepkids.
Dang. Yes.
Okay,
Well.
so unlike some other YouTubers that we know, I'm not gonna castigate you for deciding to be a step baby daddy, step baby mama. Unfortunately, in our community, a large percentage of women have children out of wedlock. And if you are determined to get into a relationship and try to make something work, your pool of available
Childless.
women or suitors, well, not really suitors, that's a whole nother thing, but your pool of available women who do not have children is not very large. So some of y'all might be like, look, bro, I got one life. I'm not gonna go and die on this hill. It ain't worth it. I'm trying to find love. I wanna have a family anyway. I'm just gonna get her, even though she got kids. 4 of them though?
Yikes. Hey.
Because
1, 4, what's the difference?
Oh, it's a difference. And you're inviting a lot of possible issues. Now, the prayer and the hope is that she got a baby daddy that ain't crazy.
Yeah.
The prayer and the hope is there's only one baby daddy.
Best case scenario.
If it ain't, she's forever gonna be connected to another man.
Ew, no.
How that look when it come time for you to discipline? Can you discipline? Are you really the man of your own house? Whew.
Well.
I would never tell nobody to do this, but I'm not gonna castigate you because if it's what you really want and if you built for it. No, I came into the marriage out of blue pill.
Yep.
I thought you could do no wrong because you was a woman. That was a lie. But I remember what it was like to be there. And a lot of men are still there. So I'm not gonna beat you up too bad, brother. As long as you happy. No. I don't care about happiness.
Nope.
But if you're willing to go through it, that's what I meant to say.
And anybody who's just considering being with somebody who have kids and baby dads, you have to be mature. You have to think logically and understand that you have to take other people's perspective and put it into consideration. If she's co-parenting, you gotta let her co-parent. If she needs to talk to her baby daddy in regards to a decision that needs to be made about their kid, you sit back and shut up. Do not expect to be a part of a step family and think that you can run that family however it is you want. You have to understand.
That was, I'm not gonna say a red flag.
Well,
I'm not gonna say yellow.
Well, you
that
don't
was
think-
a little orange.
No, but you don't think there's truth to that? I mean, that makes...
There was truth to certain parts, he said.
Well, okay, so
There was truth to certain parts,
What
he said.
part was not truth then?
Okay, the first thing, the mature part, now,
And have logic, which I agree that you do have to be mature and you do have to have logic. You don't think you need to be mature in logic?
you do.
Okay.
That's why I said I partially agree.
Okay.
Here's the problem. It sounded like cope. It sounded like, hey, I'm a step parent and I'm doing it well. That's because I'm so mature. You got to be mature to come over here and do it. Those of you who are not, who would never do this, you're not as mature as I am.
No.
That's how it sort of felt.
No.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
I ain't like that too tough.
No, that's not what I got. That's not what I got.
I don't know.
I didn't get that.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm
feel
not
like-
sure, bro. You can't run the house the way you want to. Who gonna run the house the way they want to then? There's only 2 people that can decide how the house is ran. Who gonna run it the way they want to? If it ain't you, who it is?
Well, no, they decide how they run their house.
He said you can't run the house the way you want to.
That's what he said?
That's what he said out of his own mouth.
Okay.
MOUF, mouth. That's what he said.
I don't know about that part.
That's why people be saying that men who do this are simps.
No,
because that part of the mentality. Now, like I say, I partially agree. It sounded like there was some cope there. It's only two people that can decide how the house gonna be ran. So who, if it ain't you,
it's supposed to be you and him and the wife.
Hell no.
but you are not running the house the way that you want to. So who? It's not even him and the wife.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
It's not even him and the wife.
That's not how that works.
That is the opposite of traditional, for sure. Look, I'm coming from a Christianified perspective, y'all. For those of you who believe that there's no leader, there are no leaders here. Nope. We're partners.
Yes.
I don't want a husband. I don't want a wife. I want a partner. Mm-hmm. If you want a partner, we not even talking about the same thing. Y'all have different issues that I'm... But like I said, partially agree because, yes, in all honesty, not joking anymore. Yes, there has to be a high level of maturity.
Yeah.
There has to be a high level of sympathy.
Okay.
For you to put yourself in their situation and understand how difficult the situation is to maneuver, which is why a lot of guys nowadays are saying don't do it because it brings a lot of unnecessary issues into a relationship.
Yeah.
That is already going to be hard to be married. So you're making it harder. So a lot of guys are like, yo, bump harder. It's hard enough. I don't want no more.
No, thank you. No, thank you. All good.
Then there are some guys who can deal with it. And especially if you have kids of your own.
Right.
If you got kids of your own, then like, I know you were going to say something. I'm sorry. You were going to say something.
I'm going to let him finish and then come back because I got to gather my thoughts.
You have to understand that you're entering a family where one of the parents has had to take care of the kids all by themselves. And for you to go in there and tell them what to do, you're mistaken.
Why are we entering a situation where one of the parents is taking care of the kids all by themselves? Why is that normal?
Oh, well.
That shouldn't be normal.
That's a whole nother story.
Now, he might be speaking specifically to his situation and his experience, but he's giving advice to other people saying this is how it is. That should not be the norm. Why isn't 50-50 custody the norm?
Because we live in a jacked up society. That's why. Point blank, period.
Period.
Look, all y'all that watch people like Anton Daniels, MTR, Poor Man's Podcast, Chisha Zed, O'Shea Duke Jackson, y'all got a whole lot of thoughts on this already.
Yeah, you can let us know.
Put it all
know.
down
Just
there.
put it all in
we
the
know.
comment section.
Trust me,
we
know.
can hear you. We can hear you already.
I can hear you.
My 4-foot, 11-inch wife who had 4 children was afraid to let men around her kids. Her oldest child at the time when I started dating her was 10 years old. So for 10 years, she's been taking care of kids. No man to tell her what to do, what to say, how to do things. It was all her. I couldn't enter that woman's life and say, I need you to discipline your kids this way. While I'm working, you need to clean the house and have dinner ready for me when I get home. I don't want you talking to the other kid's parent. Now, I'm going to tell you the secret and a mentality that you need to have when you're entering a step family. You 100% have to be humble all the time. What do I mean by that? Take your pride and throw it away. All you have to do is love that person and contribute on top of what they already have. For any man out there saying, I can't do that, that's not masculine, bro, you better leave that woman alone and stay the hell away.
I don't like the way he wrapped that up, though. Like, most the video was like, bruh. I know a lot of y'all was like, hell no.
Hell no.
But the ending?
He had some moments.
Well, I don't know about that, but...
What I will say is that I do believe for someone, if a guy is going to marry a woman basically who has children, I do agree with him that it's going to be difficult if the woman has been basically doing it on her own because the dad wasn't there for whatever reason. That can be a challenge. But I think it does depend on the woman's mentality as far as how challenging it can be. Because some women may be grateful, just like, you know what, thank God. Amen. Somebody can help me figure out what to do with these kids because I've been trying to figure it out and they getting on my nerve. You know, so some women can be there. Some women, it can be like, okay, well, this is what I've been doing. This is what I know. And these is my kids. So you can't tell me what to do with my kids. If that's the situation, just in general, then you might want to reconsider marriage with that person because their mindset. If you're saying, okay, I want to spend the rest of my life with you and you have children, obviously they're with you for life, then it can't be, okay, well, these are mine. Because no, now you're coming together as one. So everything that's yours is his. There has to be some conversation around that before you say I do. So that way you can figure out, okay, is this person's mentality even something I can deal with long term, because if they're not malleable to work with me for us to try to figure it out, I can only imagine. That's a different playing field altogether. What may work for one marriage may not work for another marriage. There are certain fundamentals, though, that you need to have in a successful marriage. And one of them is that you do need to have respect for your man, okay? Ladies, men, they respect their women as well, but they have to love them. Those are the things that you need in order for your marriage to be successful, regardless of whether or not you're bringing kids together or you don't have any kids and you guys are just coming together. Those are the things that you need. And love looks different from a man to a woman and from a woman to a man. So I don't know. That's just a whole lot right there.
Okay, so I think the best case scenario for people who have kids is if they get with somebody else who has kids.
Ideally, there'll be a mutual understanding.
There's an understanding of things that are happening there. That's one. Number two, I mean, look, whoever you find peace and love with and you find that you can build with, be with. I'm not going to be the person that's going to sit here and say, you know, you shouldn't be with this type of person and that type of person. At the same time, I would never recommend for someone without kids to date somebody with kids, because it's harder than a regular relationship. And we can tell, looking at the stats, that people don't even have the ability to do regular relationships. Because if they had the ability to do regular relationships, then there wouldn't be baby mamas and daddies walking around who are unmarried. So it's obvious that that's an issue. So adding more on top of the issue makes it more difficult.
Right.
I got an analogy for you. I got it.
Okay.
Imagine you standing there, right? You in the pool of water, but it's a whole crap load of mud in it. Just mud everywhere. You discuss it, ew, you're like, it's disgusting, I don't like it, right? And you're trying to get some of the clumps of mud out. I don't know why you wouldn't just step out of the pool, but you in there now. I actually know why you wouldn't step out of the pool, because I know the end of it. Bruh. Anyway, you start to take some of the clumps of mud and you realize that one of the clumps of mud, that wasn't mud, that was dookie. Yeah. That's what that was, that was dookie. It was disgusting.
That's disgusting.
But that one over there, that is a clump of mud. That one is dog doo-doo. That one is cat doo-doo. That's human doo-doo. That's cow doo-doo. And that's some other type of doo-doo. But it's a bunch of different types of doo-doo. Then there's mud. This is what happens when you go down the road of pre and extramarital sex.
Oh boy.
You jumped in a pool full of doo-doo and mud, and you don't know which piece you pick up is gonna be doo-doo, which piece you pick up is gonna be mud. But guess what? It's all disgusting. It's all bad all the time. Why? Because you're going down the road of extra and pre-marital sex. That's the problem. We're trying to find out what's the best of bad situations that could have been avoided in the first place. Look, I get it. I understand. Yep. The walls are magically delicious. And it is very difficult for a man to resist, and a woman, especially when she's young. The axe cometh for all of them, and they are running for their lives, but they can't escape.
You can't run. You can't run.
Once you cross that line, you really are not going to be able to find a clean piece of water anywhere. Once you jump into that dirty, murky water, all of the options are bad options.
Some fights, you can't win.
Well,
some people get lucky. They come out there and there's just a little bit of mud on them. Maybe you were able to keep your body count under 5 for women and under 7 for men. There's a reason I said that. Maybe you was able to do that, and you can go find somebody and love them, and y'all can live happily ever after, and you ain't never gonna cheat on them. Y'all have a good relationship and good rapport. It would have only been better if both of y'all had 0 body count. The exact same people, exact same timing, but y'all had 0 body count. And y'all came together. It would have been better. But you were still able to have a great relationship. You just got mud. The rest of us, though, when we go into that relationship, we gonna have some doo-doo on us. You gonna have an STD.
Ouch.
You gonna have, bruh, I'm about to relate kids to doo-doo. I'm sorry, I apologize. I did not see that far into the analogy. So that's not intentional. It's not intentional. But some of y'all gonna walk in there, you're gonna have a little snotty nosed kid. You love him and his snot. But that's a little bit of doo-doo. It's gonna make life a little harder for you because you're outside of the intended relationship structure for human beings. And because you're outside of it, and guess what? There's many ways. You could be married too. You can have 2 wives. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Because that comes with drama too. Everybody, there's people with multiple wives in the Bible. Yeah, show me one of them where that turned out to be a good thing.
That part.
Guess how many of them where that was a good thing? The wisest man on the earth still fell for it. Yep. So don't even do that. You just asked for drama.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
So I just wanted to put that analogy out there. This is the problem. Once you go down this road, it ain't no win. You just trying not to lose too bad.
This is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
and just so y'all know, I'm not just casting aspersions. I was out there in the streets.
Oh boy.
I was putting wow. I was out there chilling, bucket naked.
Bucket naked.
Booty cheeks in the air. Wait. I was out there too. That's why I said it's hard to avoid.
It is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, and I've been on cocaine.
But I'm never gonna be the person that's going to act like it's not a bad thing, because it's not good, y'all.
Yeah.
We not gonna cap.
Here's a health tip for you guys. And no, I'm not a licensed healthcare professional, but for those of y'all who've been rocking with us, you know I've been through some things. But for those of you who may be struggling with different types of ailments in your body, if you work on making your body more alkaline, you don't have to worry about disease or dis-ease. Because disease cannot live in a body that's alkaline, because disease likes acidity. So stay away from things that make your body acidic. And if you need to test your acidity in your body, you can purchase pH strips to test it on a regular basis. So that way you can see, hey, today, am I more alkaline or am I more acidic? And you can work on it, work on your pH levels. So that way you can get rid of diseases. And I'm talking about all kinds of diseases, from cancer all the way down, because that is what I had. Okay, but that's the health tip for today.
Also, for all you ladies out there, you with your man, you trying to get it in, and you realize it's a little itchy down there, or you realize it's burning down there. It's probably your pH levels. Go on, get that checked out. Everything she said still applies. That's a good reason for y'all to do it that I know everybody's gonna relate to.
That is also true, yes.
Make sure the pH levels is on. You don't want no burning, you don't want no itching.
Yep.
Well, hopefully that's why you burning and ain't something else.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Men, if she burning, don't do it.
Okay, well, if you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. Really, go ahead. Hit subscribe, all right? Give us a thumbs up, all right? So that way you can tell YouTube that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down?
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Mm-hmm. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. Yes. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Press the off button.